Hey fam, how's it going? Speed Duel Bro here, and in today's video we have Chemistry in Motion. Oh yes, the legendary big water dragon. Let's go. For the skill card we have Chemistry in Motion. For monster lineup we have 1 Water Dragon Cluster, 2 Water Dragons, 3 Duoterions, 3 Oxygedons, 2 Gillosaurus, 1 Dark Triceratops, and 1 Jinzo. For spells, we have 3 Book of Moon, 3 Soul Exchange, and 2 Bonding D2O. And then for traps, we have 3 Floodgate Trap Hole, 3 Widespread Ruins, 2 Wall of Disruption, and 1 Psychic Shockwave. How to win / strategies. Now before we go over the game plan fam, I want us to review these 3 cards real quick because you will see just how important they are for our winning strategy. Let's start with the skill card, Chemistry in Motion, and if you notice, there's text in the back. At the start of the duel, flip this card over. So let's flip it over. It reads, once per turn you can place 1 counter on this card, then apply the appropriate effect depending on the number of counters on this card. 1. Discard 1 dinosaur monster, then add 1 dinosaur monster with a different attribute from your deck to your hand. 2. Normal summon 1 wind or water dinosaur monster from your hand. 3. The names of all water dinosaur monster you currently control become Hydrogeddon until the end of this turn. Then add 1 bonding H2O from your deck to your graveyard to your hand. 4. Remove all counters from this card, then change the attribute and types of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls to Fire and Pyro until the end of this turn. Now fam, the only skills that matter on this one are the first 2 skills, specifically the 1 counter and the 2 counter. But the most important one is the 1 counter skill, and you'll see why later. Now let's review DUOTERION. It reads, you can discard this card, add 1 bonding spell or trap from your deck to your hand. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target 1 Hydrogeddon, Oxygedon, or DUOTERION in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use each effect of DUOTERION once per turn. I really appreciate that DUOTERION can monster reborn another copy of itself. That right there is so key. And you'll see fam, you'll see why. And now let's read Bonding D2O. Tribute 2 DUOTERION and 1 Oxygedon in your hand and or field. Special summon 1 Water Dragon or Water Dragon Cluster from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Nice, we can bring it out from anywhere. This is treated as a special summon with the effect of Bonding H2O. If Water Dragon or Water Dragon Cluster is sent from the field to your graveyard, while this card is in your graveyard, add this card to your hand. You can only use this effect of Bonding D2O once per turn. Alright, so that little second effect at the end is nice, but the main important thing here is that we can special summon Water Dragon or Water Dragon Cluster from anywhere. And now that we've reviewed all of the cards that I've wanted us to review, let me show you how to win. Now, before we go over the main strategy fam, let me show you a cool play here that will give us Water Dragon Cluster first turn or opening hand. So let's say we're going first, and this is our hand. Now it's just a hand full of dinos, right? But don't panic fam. So what you want to see specifically are these 3 right here. The 4th dino can just be any dino in the deck, okay? So now we're going to activate Chemistry in Motion. Go ahead and put that 1 counter, and we are going to discard Dark Triceratops so that we can search for the 2nd copy of DUOTERION. Now mind you fam, it has to be different attribute, okay? And then we will discard DUOTERION to search out Bonding D2O. And right here fam, we already have the Water Dragon Cluster. Next, we're going to special summon Gillosaurus, and then we will tribute away that Gillosaurus for the DUOTERION in our hand. And now DUOTERION has that effect where it can monster reborn a 2nd copy of itself. And there you go, we just activate Bonding D2O, tribute these 3 away for Water Dragon Cluster, just like that fam. Now thankfully Water Dragon Cluster has that defensive effect, a quick effect mind you, that, you know, we can tribute this away and bring out the 2 Water Dragons and put them in defense. So if the opponent tries to do anything sketchy, then at least we have that going for us. But yeah fam, this is the neat little play that this deck is capable of, but the reason why I wanted to showcase it is because Chemistry in Motion is just that important for this deck. Now, let's move on to the main strategy of this deck. Now fam, the main strategy of this deck is very simple. We are going to take control of the field and protect our monsters. So let's say this was our opening hand. So what we're going to do here is we are going to activate Chemistry in Motion. We are going to deck thin. So we will pitch the Oxygeddon for DUOTERION. Now fam, as tempting as it is to go for bonding D2O, I don't think this would be the most optimal play at this point in time. So I would like to emphasize on that now fam, that obviously you're going to have to be aware of what's on the field and what else is in your hand. But if we don't have all the pieces of Water Dragon Cluster just yet, I want you to make the most optimal plays. So in this situation, we are going to activate Soul Exchange, tributing away the opponent's monster and bringing out DUOTERION. Now DUOTERION activates its effect, we can reborn the Oxygeddon. And now we have very nice back row cards right here, so we'll set them. Now look at that fam, we have a pretty decent field if you ask me. We got decent attack strength monsters with 2 devastating back rows, not bad at all. But as you can see fam, DUOTERION is going to be part of the attack force, meaning DUOTERION is not going to be just some discard fodder for bonding D2O or tribute fodder. Like DUOTERION actually has more purpose. And then I also want to put emphasis on protecting our monsters, because the longer that we can keep our monsters safe and on the board, the closer we are to Water Dragon Cluster. So yeah fam, this is pretty much the strategy. It really is just taking control of the field and protecting our monsters. And thankfully, DUOTERION and Oxygeddon, they have decent attack. So when you accompany that decent attack with good back row, I think we do have a winning chemistry formula in motion. Card analysis. The skill card Chemistry in Motion. Pretty decent skill card for the Water Dragon deck. And remember fam, that the first skill on this card is the only one that matters. The one counter where you can pitch one dinosaur, get another dinosaur of different attribute. And then we play the 1 Water Dragon Cluster and the 2 Water Dragons. Now this fam is very obvious. We're obligated to play these. And then we play the 3 DUOTERION and the 3 Oxygeddon. Now I feel like this is also obvious, but I would like to point out that DUOTERION is part of the attack force, and the fact that DUOTERION can reborn Oxygeddon or another DUOTERION is very key for this deck strategy. Because remember fam, with bonding D2O, it requires that the 2 DUOTERION and the Oxygeddon are from the hand or field. So meaning, with DUOTERION doing what it does, we have a little leeway. Like even if one of the pieces of Water Dragon Cluster or the requirements for D2O are in the graveyard, well, DUOTERION can just bring it right back. DUOTERION for MVP in this deck. And then it also helps that DUOTERION and Oxygeddon, they have pretty decent attack. And then we play the 2 Gillosaurus. Now fam, Gillosaurus has 2 purposes in this deck. The first one is that it helps facilitate our tribute monsters, bring them out easier and faster. And the second purpose is that Gillosaurus has great synergy with Chemistry in Motion. Thankfully, it's an Earth attribute, so we can just pitch it and then grab Oxygeddon or DUOTERION and go from there. And then we play the 1 Dark Triceratops. Now the reason why I chose 1 Dark Triceratops fam is because this is a personal tech choice. The first reason was because I have 3 Soul Exchange and 2 Gillosaurus, so I just wanted to have another tribute monster to make use of Soul Exchange and Gillosaurus. And not only that, Dark Triceratops is also a dinosaur, so there's some synergy there, there's great synergy there with Chemistry in Motion. But again, this is a personal tech choice that just works for me. And speaking of personal tech choices, I'd like to say that Jinzo is also a personal tech choice. And the reason for Jinzo fam is because in my playtesting in this current format of ours, Jinzo is just too good right now to not be running. Too many back rows running around these days. And then we play the 3 Book of Moon. Now this is obvious too fam. Book of Moon is universal utility at its finest. Shut down the opponent's monster or dodge the opponent's back row. And then we play the 3 Soul Exchange. Now this fam is obvious too. It's because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tributes. But the key thing to note here is that with Soul Exchange, we're tributing the opponent's monster. So we are going to have better control of the field that way. We gotta slow the opponent down some way, somehow. And then we play 2 copies of Bonding D2O. Now the reason why I'm only playing 2 copies, fam, is because look at Water Dragon Cluster and Water Dragons here. So that's 3 dead cards already. And when I say dead cards, fam, now for the newer Speed Duel fam, you may not know this, but my OGs and veterans do. But when I say dead cards, what that means is a card is dead when you can't play it immediately on its own. So meaning we have 5 dead cards in our deck, fam. These 3 Water Dragons and the 2 Bonding D2Os. So that's the reason why I play only 2, because I wanted to keep the dead card count very low. And here's the key thing to remember, fam. We can get to Bonding D2O very easily. All we need is a dinosaur monster in our hand, and Chemistry in Motion will take care of the rest. You know, pitch a dino, get to DUOTERION, DUOTERION gets to Bonding D2O, just like that. So that's why I only play 2 of these, fam. They're very easy to get to in the deck, and I really wanted to keep the dead card count low. And then we play the 3 Floodgate Trap Hole, 3 Widespread Ruin, and the 2 Wall of Disruption. As mentioned earlier, fam, we want to protect our monsters because the longer we can keep them on the board, the closer we are getting to the Water Dragons. And then we play the 1 Psychic Shockwave. Now this is a personal tech choice again, and the reason why I want it in this deck is because we play the 1 Jinzo. So it's like in a way playing 2 copies of Jinzo. But again, fam, Jinzo is just way too good to not be running right now in this current format. And now it's time for the moment of truth, fam. Where does this deck rank on the power scale? In my humble opinion, this deck is casual. Now, the reason why I say it's casual, fam, is because we're going to run into consistency issues. And the things that are causing the consistency issue are the 5 dead cards that I mentioned. The 3 Water Dragons and the 2 D2Os. Now, you can argue that Jinzo and Dark Triceratops are dead cards too. But here's the thing. With Dark Triceratops, we can pitch it with Chemistry in Motion. And then with Jinzo, we have easier ways of bringing it out. Soul Exchange, Gillosaurus, Psychic Shockwave. So if we're talking about competing on a higher level and having any glimpse of hope of winning a duel, I'm sorry, fam, but this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dead cards too many. That's why I built the deck the way I built it, because I didn't want to completely rely on Water Dragon Cluster. I get it, fam. Water Dragons are cool. You know, they're stylish, it's swaggy. You know, it's kind of like in a way summoning Gate Guardian. Style points, flex points. But usually, fam, when you do accomplish that, what ends up happening is you're left with nothing else. You know, like no other resources. At least with Water Dragon Cluster, you know, you can get your 2 Water Dragons anytime, you know, compared to Gate Guardian. But anyways, that's besides the point. What I'm saying here is that the deck's been built in a way that we don't need Water Dragon Cluster to win the duel. Water Dragon Cluster and the Water Dragons, they're more so in a way just icing on the cake. So again, fam, that's why I built this deck in this manner, because I wanted to make sure we were able to grind it out with the opponent, take control of the field slowly but surely, and protect our monsters so that when the time is right, that's when we crash the opponent with the Water Dragons. But don't let those consistency issues stop you from playing this deck, fam, because remember, I tried to keep the dead card count low, only 5, and we have a magnificent skill in Chemistry in Motion. The fact that we can keep deck thinning each turn, oh, that helps tremendously. So there's hope for us with this deck, fam. There's hope for us to win in style, in Water Dragon style. So there you go, fam. That's the deck. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please feel free to hit the like button because it helps me out a lot. And if you haven't already subscribed to me, your Speed Duel bro, you're more than welcome to subscribe, because 2 things. 1, I always play to win, and I'll teach you how to win. And 2, if you love Speed Duels, I'm sure you'll love me too, your Speed Duel bro. Alright, fam, that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace